Hi there, welcome to Tarotland Soap Opera. Today I'm going to do a reading for Aquarius energy, and we're going to look at it from a couple different perspectives. Well, I guess not. In a way, we are, but the top row mainly is going to reference what some people could be doing in their life, having some hope and faith and belief in themselves and in love, maybe moving forward in life differently than they were moving forward before. The bottom row is kind of a more worldly, shadowy Aquarius energy. Sometimes some people are still debating within themselves, because if we're going to live our life differently, we might have to detach from certain ways of viewing life, certain habits or patterns or relationships. And some people might still be struggling within themselves, but there's going to always be some people who are moving forward in life differently. They've healed, they've grown, they've matured, they've looked at life differently, learned to love themselves or something. And when they do that, some other people in their life maybe won't be moving forward in that same way. We all can repeat a pattern of behavior until we either get tired of it or we're ready to look at life differently. And sometimes when some people are ready to move forward in life differently, other people in our life aren't. And sometimes that goes okay, sometimes it doesn't go okay. So just listen to your intuition about who in your life harnesses high vibe energy, has hope and faith and belief in love, looks at life from a higher perspective. The worldly row can mean that people are really more caught up in the things of the world. Either ego and image and money and materialism could be more important to them, or themself is more important to them, or they like to make their life just more about themselves, and they want other people to make their life more about them. Some people are egotistical, self-centered, manipulative, got some poor habits, bossy, controlling, selfish, The truth sets us free. So just see the truth. We kind of like to hang out with people who are on the same page as us, have learned some of the same lessons about how to play nicely with others, and some people haven't learned how to play nicely with others. Some people lack hope and faith and belief in love. Some people don't want to do love. You can get hurt doing love. And some people choose not to do it. So the reason for the readings is the Six of Swords and the Seven of Swords, both Aquarius energy. The Six of Swords is about something was causing me mental conflict, the way I was maybe living my life. The Seven of Swords can talk about I haven't decided, or I haven't learned to listen to my intuition, or I can't decide how I want to live my life. Do I want to be in loving, hopeful, believing relationships, or do I want to make my life more about the world? Am I more important? Do I want to make my life more about me? Is ego and image more important? And, some people live their life a certain way. They work through the mental confusion. They saw the truth. It was causing them mental conflict to keep living their life that way. And in truth and love, they decided to live their life differently. So let's go look at the top row. We have the King of Cups, the Wheel of Fortune, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Five of Cups. High vibe people, the King of Cups I view as Cancer energy. The Queen of Pentacles I view as Taurus energy. The Queens can talk about how we think and how we feel. And Taurus energy can kind of represent our philosophy of life, how we view ourselves, how we view others, our fears, our insecurities, all these things of how we view the world. And some people decided in the Wheel of Fortune to kind of go with the flow. That, if things aren't working out maybe the way I would like them to, there might have been people I would have liked to have been in a relationship, because Taurus energy can represent marriages and relationships. And if there was people that I would have liked to have been in a relationship with, but I feel like they don't go with the flow, they're not willing to maybe incorporate love into their philosophy of life, and they might like to live more from their mind than their heart, or they make these things of the world more important. I just have to see the truth of it. When a person is holding one pentacle, it can mean that they saw the truth of a situation. And though they could have love for those people and wish those people would move forward with them, if that's not where they're at right now, or they're in another loving relationship of their own, well then, yeah, they shouldn't come get in a relationship with us. Why would you switch one high vibe relationship for another high vibe relationship? You know? So, and then we might know some people, the kings can represent, we all take action in the world and it's considered masculine energy because we can present ourselves any way we want, but what's the truth of how we think and feel? And I view the King of Cups as Cancer energy. Some people might be people who present themselves as like loving people and motivated and inspired by love, but it might be more of a social mask that they wear. But they really aren't people who are willing to go with the flow and really incorporate love into their philosophy of life to be the foundation by which they make decisions from. Again, the Seven of Swords can be, I can deceive people about the truth of who I am. I'll just present myself as a loving person. But then they try to move forward with people who really are maybe more emotionally mature and loving. And then there's a problem in the relationship moving forward because one person is being authentically like loving and nurturing and supportive, and the other one tries to present an illusion of being that way. And in a lot of ways they could be loving, but the way they view life isn't looking at life from a higher perspective. It's more like I present myself as loving so people will be in a relationship with me, but then I want them to do life like this. And I don't want them to look at life from a higher perspective or maybe believe in their own dreams and invest in their own unique talent, skills, and interests. I'm more about making my life about looking like a shining star in the world. That's a more worldly, shadowy Aquarius energy. Can't we do a relationship like this? I present myself as loving, and in a lot of ways I might be loving, but that's not my philosophy of life, to look at life from a higher perspective and think that there's more to being on this planet than just what the world says. So we should make our life about these things of the world, which is basically ego and image and money and materialism and indulgence or something, and there is no higher purpose. It's not like, because if we're more about the world, shadowy energy is being more competitive in the world, trying to look like maybe we have more than other people. Look how happy we are. But what about living your authentic truth and being more authentically yourself and letting your light shine, not making your life about conforming to the world, where you really let your own authentic light shine and, listen to your own unique talent, skills, and interests and your intuition and things like that to guide you instead of these things about the world. And if some people know some people who are like that, either they're in their own loving relationships and have moved on, because some people are authentically loving people. They've learned some lessons in life. They're now going with the flow, have learned to love themselves, have dealt with some of their past pain and heartbreak in the Five of Cups, and they're ready to move forward to bring a dream into reality. And they could present themselves and take action to communicate with someone who they think is on the same page as them. And some of those people could be sad that they can't be in a relationship with them, because when everybody was off learning lessons in life, they could have moved on with someone else. And as you're moving forward in your life, you could have people presenting themselves to you and you're like, sorry, I've already moved on in life. Or, I do have love for you, and other people could be telling you that they're happy. Everybody's happy. People have freed themselves from things that used to confuse them or manipulate them. But people might not want to get back in relationships with people. I'm not the same person I was maybe at one point in time in my life. Or, you seem like a lovely person, but I don't think you're someone who really is kind of on the same page as me. Sometimes we want to be friends with people, we want to date people, and we just got to listen to our own intuition about how we think we view life, kind of what drives and motivates us. And we just realize, I don't think we're quite on the same page. And so some people could be sad that they can't be in relationships with certain people. Some people could be sad that some people that they made an offer to kind of aren't taking action to come towards them. You might view them as a loving person, but for some reason, they're not coming towards you. And then the whole thing is, just like anybody in our life, we need to emotionally deal with the truth. Everybody's at where they're at. Everybody's in their friendships or their relationships, living high vibe, worldly wise, shadowy. I don't necessarily know why, and I don't have to know why. I just have to deal with the truth. If there's not people who are willing and want to work together with me cooperatively in a relationship, even though I might have wanted to work with them, I offer love to the situation to deal with the truth of it. My dreams aren't codependent on a certain person being in my life. It's having people who are on the same page at the same time as me. And I have that hope and faith and belief in my dreams, and I'm going to move forward regardless. But there are some people in your life that you will meet. For some of you, the Queen of Pentacles can represent jobs and things like that. Other people, nurturing, loving people in your life, whether it's a romantic partner or not. But if some of you are thinking of making an offer, presenting yourself to a workplace, some of those people might be sad because they already filled the position and moved on with someone else. Some other people might be like, we're sad someone else left and we're looking for someone else. And if they think that you're on the same page, and, they would move forward with you. So that's kind of just going with the flow. In truth and love, I tell people what my dream and my vision is and how I want to move forward in life. Some of those people will move forward with me. Some of those people won't. Some of those people, I will be sad that they did move forward with me. Some of those people might be sad they didn't move forward with me. I just have to deal with the truth of it and keep life in perspective, offering love to myself, knowing my worth and value, trusting that the divine has a plan for my life. Well, let's go look at the bottom row. And when things don't turn out the way we would want, then, we could be tempted, and some people could be tempted, to want to repeat an old pattern. Well, maybe instead of moving forward, maybe I can just go back and do life the way I did it, maybe get back in relationships with some people, and just do life the way I had been doing it. So let's go look at that. We have the Hierophant, the Three of Swords, the Page of Pentacles, and the Five of Wands. Well, that could be Taurus Hierophant, just like the Queen of Pentacles. In Taurus energy, there's different jobs, friendships, and relationships we can be in. But in shadow, the Hierophant can be more about being caught up in these things of the world. And thinking that's just and fair. Kind of staying in our maybe more, indulging our more immature worldly nature, possibly our more codependent nature, because we do have inner conflict about having hope and faith and belief in ourselves and in our dreams. And if some people, when they were in this type of relationship or are currently in this type of relationship, they can have love for people, but they're trying to encourage the people in their life who might be more caught up in these things of the world, or their philosophy of life is, I don't have to emotionally grow and mature myself and have hope and faith and belief in love. I can just kind of wear my false mask and be in a relationship. And then when people are in a relationship with them, they're kind of heartbroken because they're in high vibe. The Page of Pentacles can mean that people are in that hopeful, believing spirit, and they're trying to get the people they're in a relationship with to change. The Fives can talk about change. And the shadowy energy can be that people are more tipped out of balance and The sevens can mean, they're in shadow. It means they're kind of tipped into liking to live more from their mind than their heart, instead of getting more balance between like their loving intuitive nature and their self-protective nature or their defensive nature, more about themself nature, their ego nature, their materialistic nature. And some people could be in a relationship right now or a workplace, and they could be kind of heartbroken because they keep trying to get people to get out of their fear or their insecurity, or maybe being more codependent or immature or something, and they want them to move forward with them in this way. And the other person could kind of be sad too if we initially got in a relationship and we were willing to work together. Well, why did you change? I didn't change. I'm the same person I was. But we can get in a relationship, and high vibe people can, have this hope and faith and belief in love, and that people are going to grow and heal and mature themselves over time. And some people are like, I want to be in the relationship, but I don't want to deal with those past pain and heartbreak or my self-limiting beliefs. Let's just stay right here. But other people do kind of, in their fire sign energy of Leo, they kind of get motivated to want to deal with those issues that cause them inner conflict. I do have some past pain and heartbreak. I do have some self-limiting beliefs. I have some things that keep me up in my head, and I don't like it. And I don't like kind of living my life and my philosophy of life, maybe living from a place more of heartbreak. And so then they do this work within themselves to work through some of their mental conflict and some of their past pain and heartbreak. And then they're not the same person they were before. And now it does kind of free them to go live their life differently. They do look at life differently. They've worked through some of those issues that used to kind of manipulate them. And now it's more about truth and love and being free of some of those things. And that's when some of the people that they're in relationship are sad because you change. We could have kept doing this, and I don't want to deal with some of my past pain and heartbreak. It causes me inner conflict. I maybe don't want to see the truth about why some of those relationships didn't work out the way I wanted. Maybe I need to grow up. Maybe I need to emotionally mature, and I don't want to see the truth of that. I might not want to add anything new, like learn a lesson, heal, grow, mature, look at life from a higher perspective, into my philosophy of life. I might be very worldly focused, ego focused, or self focused, or codependent. And that's how I am comfortable living my life. And I wish you would have stayed and not done that work within yourself, because I don't plan to look at life any differently. And I don't plan to step out of my comfort zone. And I don't plan to shine my light in the world. And I don't plan to do things any different than I've done it. And then both people can have a lot of mental conflict staying in the relationship because now we're not on the same page in a lot of ways. Everybody could have had different pain and heartbreak. Everybody could have at one time been in more codependent energy. And I think we all initially kind of going out in the world are a little more in codependent energy because we grew up in families and we were children, and we kind of looked to other people to make us feel loved and to make us feel more stable and grounded. And we hadn't quite learned how to love ourselves to be like our own best mother, father, coach voice in our head. And we look to other people to play that role in our life. And initially we can get in relationships in that mentality. And then when one person does kind of learn to love and believe in themselves more than they did before, they're just not the same person they were before. And if they don't want to be in a more codependent relationship, and they want everybody to kind of heal and grow and mature themselves and be their own best mother, father, coach voice in their head. Well, some other people can get upset about that in the Five of Wands, because, and everybody can kind of feel deceived and betrayed in the Seven of Swords. One person could have thought, I thought we were, I thought that's how I viewed life. I thought we periodically did go through our stuff to kind of get rid of some old shit and work through it and be free of it. And the other person was like, well, that wasn't my idea of the dream life. I don't ever plan to work through some of that stuff. I keep shadowy energy kind of more operating from my ego. I don't have to deal with that stuff. I can just put it in a box in the corner of my mind, and I can just keep moving forward the way I am. But it does affect how they interact in a relationship, because they still have those unhealed wounds. They still have those fears or those insecurities or those self-limiting beliefs that some of the other people maybe don't have anymore. And then someone can, when things come up in a relationship, they have learned they're not triggered by some of that same past pain and heartbreak, and they can be a more emotionally stable, loving person, offering love to the situation, trying to see things from a higher perspective. But the other person, because they still have that inner conflict and that past pain and heartbreak, they might act out in a more immature way because of those issues that still kind of manipulate them. And it could be their fear and their insecurity to love. I haven't worked through some of these relationships in my past with people who I wanted to work together with me in a more loving way, and they didn't. And I haven't worked through it. So I'm still maybe more defensive to being loving or giving or just or fair in a relationship. And then I kind of still want to be indulged in this more, what we would consider a more immature way of handling things in a relationship. And shadowy, this is how the kind of relationship I want to be in. And kind of like if you have inner conflict, kind of continuing to indulge me in the way I am, even though you might have changed or grown or healed or something, and you wish I would, it can cause heartbreak and tension and conflict and fighting. And some people right now are still not wanting to see the truth, is what the Seven of Swords can talk about. No, I'm going to keep loving and nurturing this person, hoping eventually they'll be motivated to work through some of their issues and they'll move forward with me. And we have to accept that some of the people we might want to be in a relationship with are still being patient in relationships they're with, even if some of those people are friends or family members, because some of those people are codependent on those people. And if those people aren't willing to change and look at life from a different perspective, I'm not willing to change and look at life from a higher perspective. Because in my codependent energy, they kind of are my primary foundation. And if they don't change, I'm not changing. And then eventually some people, I have a dream I want to be in a relationship, and I feel like we're not working cooperatively from love. And I could feel that some of the people in my life in Taurus, Libra, all earth sign energies of Capricorn, Virgo, and Taurus, and Leo energy, and Aquarius energy. I can't change people. I can offer people love and encouragement, but until they do this work within themselves to deal with their own inner conflict about having hope and faith and belief in themselves, looking at life from a higher perspective, believing they can heal, being inspired to put in work and effort to work through those issues, I can't make them do that. It's a free will choice. And eventually, some people might decide, and the Five of Cups is Scorpio energy. A person could end up feeling like it is, like one person is happy making their life more about the world or about themselves. Shadowy Aquarius can be kind of egotistical and self-centered, like everybody else should put aside their pride and ego in the workplace or in this relationship, but not me. You know, I'm the one who has maybe status or image or social clout or attractive or whatever it is they think they got that should make them the center of attention, or that's just, they make themselves the center of attention and they think everybody else should, and eventually it causes other people to feel like they're kind of more in a relationship with someone who's stubborn, prideful, immature, unkind, deceptive, manipulative, full of themselves, more about ego and image. And it's like, I feel like I'm missing out on a deep, meaningful relationship. And they might not even want to do a deep, meaningful relationship. Shadowy Scorpio can be, I'm okay kind of presenting myself as loving to you and when we go out in the world, but I really don't want to do a deep, meaningful relationship. I like to live more from my mind than my heart. I find my emotions confusing. I don't want to deal with them. And other people do want to be in deep, meaningful relationships. And everybody has the free will to live their life whatever way they want. And when you kind of realize we're in a mismatched relationship, eventually everybody can want to get out of the relationship because we're not on the same page. What drives and motivates me isn't what drives and motivates you. I kind of want to be in a relationship with someone who views life the way I do. The high vibe people want to be in a relationship with someone who views life the way they do. Everybody can be sad. The only thing is, the high vibe people do offer love to it. And again, they're able to reconcile themselves with it. The truth sets them free. And they're able to move forward. The other people might not still want to see the truth. Maybe I am kind of stubborn. Maybe I am kind of egotistical. Maybe I do like to hide behind a false mask and be in my more defensive energy. Maybe I am kind of immature, and they don't want to deal with the truth of it. So, and they could like to view themselves also as a high vibe person. But we can all view ourselves as like a loving, giving, nurturing. I'm not petty, envious, jealous, egotistical, bossy, controlling. We can all think that until someone comes in our life who really is a little bit more high vibe than we are. And then it kind of illuminates that we're not quite what we thought we were. And, maybe we have some growing up and maturing to do or some healing to do or to look at life from a higher perspective. And then that can get people up in their ego and, shadow energy, kind of envious and jealous and competitive. And, we have the free will to work through that. It's like, I don't want to stay in petty, envious, jealous, competitive energy. What is it that I like about them, that I admire about them? If it's things that are just ways of being in the world, why am I kind of not more like that person? Maybe I could try to cultivate those things within me so I could, be someone who's more like that in the world. And then they do that work to love and believe in themselves, and they work through their issues to kind of free themselves from things that can manipulate them to not be that type of person. But other people don't do that. They don't want to see the truth of it. It could be, I don't like that you look at life differently, or you're more emotionally mature or loving. I might just want you to go away. And then I can hang out with the people in my life where we keep thinking we're that type of person and we don't have anybody around us that causes us some inner conflict about the truth of who we really are. And we'll keep staying in denial of the truth that we're not really the people that we think we are. But as long as we don't have someone around who really is that type of person, then we can keep living in our denial. So there's some people right now that could be in a relationship that do like to live more from their mind than their heart. If they have someone in their life, even if it is their own child, like, a young adult, or just other people in their life, right now they could be kind of heartbroken because some of the people in their life are kind of going with the flow, and they are kind of spreading their wings and, living their life and being more independent, because high vibe energy is about being independent. And some people could be sad about that because they might have a lot of things that manipulate them, that keep them from being more independent and more authentically themselves in the world. And even if it is their own children, they could kind of get in competitive energy about it. but they still might not want to really deal with their own inner conflict about it, because it means they'd have to deal with these issues within them, maybe people they grew up with when they were a child, that maybe did try to control them more and stop them from really being more authentically themselves and encouraging them to be more themselves. And so they did stay here, but they now know people in their life who are just more authentic, more hopeful and believing within themselves than they are. And it could cause them a twinge of some competitive energy, jealous energy, that I kind of wanted you to live your life the way I live life. And if I have these things that kind of restrict me from being more authentic, it could make me a little envious and jealous of you, but I don't want to see the truth of it. And some people could be in a relationship with someone right now that they could have inner conflict with. They're trying to decide, do I want to stay in this relationship or should I leave? I could kind of like this person, love this person, thought I was going to marry them. But if some people decide that, I think this person seems to have inner conflict about maybe being more authentically loving, and by worldly standards, it could look really successful. Taurus energy represents the stability and the security in the world, and Aquarius can looks like everything that you would want. But the people who listen to their intuition, it's kind of like, I do think this person has some unresolved issues that they haven't dealt with, that I don't think they're going to move forward with me in a more deep, meaningful relationship, because I do think they kind of like to hide their emotional nature, maybe under the surface. And it might be, they might like to be in it, but it might be more for the ego or the image and looking like a shining star. And that's not why I want to be in the relationship. And so there's also some people that are thinking and doing this work within themselves to debate within themselves about this. And if their intuition tells them, I love you, but I can't live my life like this, I can't make it more about these things of the world, I think the reason I would stay in it is I would kind of be deceiving myself and I'd kind of be deceiving you, that the reason I would maybe stay in it is more for the ego or the image or the money. And, those things. And I really want a more deep, meaningful, loving relationship. So I'm going to offer love, to believe in myself, to believe the divine has a plan for my life. I'm going to love myself. I'm going to make offers to people who I think are on the same page as me. If that doesn't work out, I'm going to keep moving forward, and just believing in myself and maybe just loving myself while I work through the regrets that this didn't work out. And then when I am ready to move forward in life and I've worked through my mental conflict about it, even though I might get out of the relationship, I'm going to move forward. And there's going to be some people that are kind of immature, are kind of more about themselves, and they might try to deceive some people that they're in a relationship with because they're more about themselves, more about ego and image. It's one thing to admit, high vibe people are willing to admit, I had lessons to learn and I made a mistake. I could have gotten caught up in some things or things changed in a relationship. They're willing to tell the truth. But other people get out of relationships because of these different issues that we talked about. And then they could try to present themselves to someone new and see if that person maybe is heartbroken and willing to get in a relationship with them and kind of indulge them in this way of living. And I think the high vibe people listen to their intuition about anybody who presents themselves to them about, do I think you're telling me the truth? Do I think you're being deceptive and manipulative? Are you more about yourself and your ego and your image? And some people could be disappointed that they could have been wanting someone to present themselves to them. And then they do, and they kind of realize my intuition is telling me that you are more about these things of the world or yourself or immature or something or competitive in the world or more about lust or greed. And I don't think, I'm going to be in a relationship with you and I'm going to move on. What's coming up for people who harness some high vibe Aquarius energy that they might not see coming up? The Ace of Pentacles. Why? Because of the Eight of Cups. So from the 5 to the 8 is taking back the 3 of Cups. If there's people you would like to be in a relationship or are presently in a relationship with, but they're not working together with you cooperatively from a foundation of love, you're no longer going to be investing in those people. You're taking back the 3 of Cups. And no longer an illusion about who they are, to go become independent of them because you've seen the truth. This could be someone emotionally, like hoping that some people would do this work within themselves and present themselves as loving. But if those people are not moving towards you to invest in this dream with you, we have to see the truth that either they're in loving relationships of their own, or maybe they're not who I thought they were. And I can't keep waiting, because the Queen energy can represent kind of being in receptive mode. And it's like, I can't keep staying in receptive mode. Apparently, we're not on the same page. So I need to see the truth of that, get out of my illusions about it, love myself, and become independent of it and move on. And also, though, that you are going to have these new beginnings. We just need to keep moving forward. Some people will invest in us and move forward with us. Some of the people we'd like to won't. We move forward with the people in our life who are willing to work with us in that way. And if one of those people isn't a romantic person, then if we keep seeing the truth and keep moving forward in truth and love and listening to our intuition versus our fear and our insecurity and our codependency, we will have this new beginning. If we go back and repeat an old pattern and make a decision more out of fear and insecurity or codependency or whatever, we're going to probably get the same old shit we got before. And if we don't want to do that, see the truth, keep moving forward. What's coming up for the people who harness some more worldly or shadowy Aquarius energy that they might not see coming? The Ace of Cups, because of the Knight of Cups, when people kind of act in these shadowy ways of being, they have people in their life who've been offering them love, but eventually those people are going to move on. It's like, I wish you peace, but I'm moving on because I have a dream. And if that's not your dream, and this is your idea of the dream life, and this isn't my idea of the dream life, it's kind of like, I wish you peace, love, and joy, but I'm moving on. And they might not see that coming. They never thought maybe some people would love and believe in themselves, work through their mental conflict, or the fact that some people know that people love them, and is kind of trying to manipulate people based on the love they have for them or their want for these things of the world. And they keep kind of thinking, I can manipulate you to get you to do what I want because you want these things of the world, or you love me, or you want this relationship to work. And eventually people see through the emotional confusion of it, and they love themselves, and they move on in their life. And sometimes the shadowy people would always be surprised that people love and believe in themselves to give up the status and the ego and the image and get out of their ego to go believe in themselves, to go pursue what is aligned with their truth. Another thing they might not see coming, and that might be happening even right now. Someone right now, again, they could have repeated this pattern. They try to present themselves as loving to someone who's more emotionally mature than them, and hoping to tempt them with these things of the world, tempt them in their ego and, their lust or their greed or whatever. And again, there's people listening to their intuition. And it's like, nope, I think I'm going to go believe in myself, love myself, because otherwise I think I'm going to miss an opportunity in love, and I'm not willing. These things of the world are important to me, but not important enough to give up love for. And I'm going to go find the people who are on the same page as me. And some people are going to go talk to people who they feel like they could have missed an opportunity in love for. Life's about making choices. If we go out with this person, we don't go out with that person. And some people could feel like when I had some lessons to learn, there could have been some people who really were more on the same page as me, but I wasn't seeing it. And we've all got lessons to learn. So if those people could work it out, and some of those people have, some of those people are, some of those people will, they'll move forward because they've both gotten over being emotionally manipulated by their ego, by their immature nature, by their more worldly nature, their past pain and heartbreak, and now they are on the same page. But some of the people in your life who are kind of immature and all about the world and kind of deceptive and manipulative, another thing they might not see coming is there's going to be other people who want to get in a relationship with them. And again, if it's loving people, the same scenario is going to play out again because they're the same person. They haven't emotionally grown and matured. They still haven't dealt with their past pain and heartbreak. And so they keep repeating these same patterns over and over. And what they might end up with is someone who the Knight of Cups and Shadow can be kind of people who are kind of caught up in the illusion of the world or have these illusions about relationships also. And they might get in a relationship with someone who's like themselves, who might be on the same maturity level as them, might be more about competing in the world, looking like a shining star in the world, make their life about these things of the world are more important to them. And then they'll be in a relationship with someone who's really kind of on the same page as them. It might cause them inner conflict because if they've both been in relationships with people who are more emotionally mature and loving and stable and balanced and tempered in their ego nature, now there could be in a relationship with someone who's like themselves. And they both could have these issues that they don't want to deal with. And they both could maybe be kind of stubborn, both be kind of immature, both be kind of competitive in a relationship and like to try to manipulate and control people in a relationship. And it's all trying to get them to see, is this really how you want to live your life? And once you kind of get in a relationship with someone who's like yourself, has that made you see the truth of what it's like to be in a relationship with you and why some other people left? Are you willing to see the truth of it? Are you willing to grow and mature yourself? Or are you just going to get out of this relationship and go try to manipulate someone who's not like you to get them in a relationship with you and try to repeat that pattern? So there you go, Aquarius. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.